you gave me the advice, Rabbi, to just support her, and treat her with respect, and that's all we could do. And that's how we live our life,
Do you
interfaith.
guys have children?
No, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I do encourage you to encourage her to want more and do more. Okay.
Yes.
And, honestly, I mean, I'm not sure what we spoke about, but I believe that if people are newly married, I mean, I don't encourage Jews to marry Christians or stay with Christians. I mean, just because it's going to be a nightmare when you have children, right? So
Right.
I've even encouraged, honestly, for people who are married to people who are not Jewish and they don't have children to divorce because they don't have children. Just because I'm looking out for the kid. You guys don't have kids yet. Now,
Right.
you could do what you want to do, but I would hold back on having children unless you guys agree more on religion, because it typically happens, especially amongst women, that they become very religious after they have children and they get sort of set on their ways. And I don't want that later on causing you guys to divorce.
Right. Well, one of the things we discuss, and what's important to me is the rules of law. As long as I could apply those rules of law and kind of teach those to my children, I mean, that's pretty much what my focus is. And what we shared we both share the, as a Christians call the Old Testament. And she completely agreed with it. She's like, if you want to, talk to them about the 613 mitzvot, that's fine with me. And that's the agreement we made.
Is she a religious Christian?
She's religious, and but she also is very respectful. Yeah, she's a Foursquare Christian.
Yeah, Foursquare is kind of frozen chosen, right? I mean, it's not like Methodist. It's not evangelical for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
What is?
Foursquare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a denomination that's not very popular, but I have seen it before.
What do they believe differently? Like, what are their areas that are different?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm not really too sure.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I just kind of stick to my religion.
I'm totally going to Google it now. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
In this case, I promote Tovia Singer and I promote Tanakh Talk.
Yes.
I think they do a good job in helping people leave Christianity and start doubting their religion. So
Yeah,
I would encourage you.
I said, ew, come on.
Yeah, well, because you're a Messianic, so it's like I'm sort of waving kryptonite in front of
I
you.
literally, if I didn't have to meet up with family that came in from out of town, I was going to slam Tanakh Talk on my page today. One of the latest videos was ridiculous. It's almost an insult for their viewers. And I'm sorry if people listen, but here comes a quick rant. They clearly on the lack of education of whoever decides to come from Christianity over there. They clearly play on the fact that they're ignorant of the Torah and they're ignorant of the Hebrew language. I mean, it bothered me. It was one of those WTF moments where I was like, are you serious? That answer suffices. So, in my personal opinion, ew. There's that.
Hey, how's this? Mum and Dad went out and had dinner with Tovia Singer the other night, actually, in Jerusalem. They went out with him, and just the three of them. It was good, they said. They said he's a really good guy.
They serve a purpose. And I think that in your case, being that I'm looking out for you and your future children, I would encourage you to have your wife listen to counter missionary radio or videos.
Right.
Just if she was a Messianic Jew, I would take a different approach because you have Torah in common, right? But if she's a traditional Christian, I don't know how that in any way has anything in common with Torah Judaism. But you should be matzliach. You should be blessed, and everything should go good. God willing.
Right. I also believe, a person has to come to an understanding of why they're going to convert. With Judaism, you have to do a lot of reading, self-discovery, make sense of the logic, and then make the decision. Not just move based on just a belief of you just want to do it just because your husband wants you to do it.
No, for sure.
I agree with that approach. I kind of want her to. I would like her to go through the journey as I did, and in my discovery.
I don't think that she's going to come to that understanding in a Reform synagogue, though. Just because they're not big on religion, they're not big on God there. It's really like an ethnic Semitic festival for every Shabbos. It has nothing to ultimately do with God. That's just my opinion.
Right.
But
I don't know. I'm just not big into destroying someone's faith just to have kids with them. I don't know. That seems more unethical than anything.
Paul does say, don't be unequally yoked, young lamb there.
I wouldn't say that he's unequally yoked any more than a person. I mean, his wife is a moral person.
Right.
And his wife is not cruel and mean, and she's not, I wouldn't guess, a hypocrite. Again, I don't know much about her denomination, but the only thing that she doesn't know, again, not knowing about her denomination, would be that Torah is valid today. But really, honestly, she doesn't believe that because the Jews tell her Torah is not for you because you're not a Jew. So I blame Jews. I mean, really, if we're going to, let's go with the big brother.
There it comes out now, Courtney.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm all about some equal weights and measures. When my camp's doing something wrong, I'm the first one to call them out. But you think about it, like Luke, when we have debates, I mean, he still private messages me stuff, right? All the time, just bam, bam, bam. The reason why he sounds more like an anti-missionary than sometimes anti-missionaries do. Why? Because he's using their arguments. He's saying the Torah is not for you. You're not a Jew. This. All of these same things you hear from anti-missionaries. You hear this from Jews. You don't hear this from anybody else that picks up the Torah, reads it, and sees it straight through, other than Asher Meza. That's it. Be real. Come on.
I like Asher Meza. He's dope.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is destroy someone's faith rather than lead them and say, look, honey, maybe Torah is something you should be keeping. And you can still keep Jesus at the same time.
If we do have respect for one another and we're both moral and ethical people, what is so wrong about, having that sense of respect to it's like going to a birthday party. It's not your birthday, but you cherish in there.
That's the only thing. Things could change after you have children, and it's a huge gamble bringing children into this world under that rubric, under those auspices. That's it. It's just a risk, right?
Right.
There is a possibility that she's going to become more religious after she has a child. And I'll tell you, most people who convert for other people typically, because it's typically women converting for men, typically become more religious than the men they converted for.
Right.
It happens later in life. And I even encourage people not to have kids for at least 2 years after you get married to really see who the person is. I don't think divorce is a big thing in Judaism, but divorce with children is a huge thing.